today we're gonna learn a little bit about the deadlock. So what is deadlock? The deadlock basically means it usually happens right here. During the process state transition on this way, you have a new state, right? Where your process will be assigned a unique ID, PID. And then it's gonna go to the ready mode. In the ready mode, your process control block, what's gonna do is that it's gonna provide a short-term memory to hold the processor, right? And the next one, it is going to go to the CPU, basically in the running mode, okay? And then the CPU is gonna check, does your process have any IO request? If yes, it's gonna go to the wait mode. If no, it will be terminated. So by saying terminated, please do not think it like in a negative way, okay? It simply means completed, okay? Completed. So do not think terminated in a bad way, okay? So if a process has some kind of IO request, it will be basically in a wait mode, right? So everything deadlock is going to happen right here. So basically when you have two or more processes that are waiting for each other, basically it's called deadlock. And there are a couple of things to remember. So like this example. So you might have limited number of resources, but you have a lot of processes, right? So your process number one, it is holding resource A, and it is waiting for the B. And your process number two, at the same time, it's holding B, waiting for the A, right? Basically, P1, it is waiting for the P2, P2 is waiting for the P1. And then you have P3. So the P3, basically, it is holding resource C, and it is waiting one of these processes to be completed. Basically, as long as one of these will not be completed, P3 will be stuck also, right? And then you have another one. And then you have another one, process 4. The process 4, it is holding D, resource D, and it is waiting for the C, right? As long as P3 will not give the resource C to the P4, P4 is also stuck, right? Does it make sense now?
Yeah.
So from this one, you can summarize two things. Before you call this one deadlock, first P1, there should be two or more processes, right? So basically P1 and P2. So P1 should be waiting for the P2, and P2 should wait for the P1, okay? And there might be two or more processes. So in the exam, if I tell you, please explain the deadlock, you should say, okay, deadlock is a phenomenon that usually happens in the wait state, right? And then, in order to say deadlock, what should happen is that we should have two or more processes, and they should be waiting for each other without any progress forever, okay? If there is a progress, it means it is not deadlock. Because if there is a progress, it means that it is usually non-preemptive. It is preemptive. because just imagine this one in the preemptive. Preemptive, it means you can interrupt the CPU, right? Interrupt the process. If it is preemptive, it means, so P2 is waiting for the P1, P1 is waiting for the P2, right? What you can do is that you can simply interrupt the P2 and then give this holding resources, this one will be available, right? If you're going to interrupt the P2, this one will be available, right? So give this one to the P1 and let the P1 get executed. So usually deadlock is going to happen in non-preemptive environment, okay? So this is the explanation, okay? Deadlock is the phenomenon in the operating system, usually in the waiting state, where two or more processes, they're waiting for each other in a circular way forever. And then before you call something a deadlock, there are usually 4 conditions that needs to be met, okay? If one of these conditions are not met, it means it is not deadlock. Usually, just ignore these 2, just focus on this one. It should be non-preemptive environment, and they should be waiting for each other in a circular way. That's it. Okay. So these are the 4 conditions before you call something deadlock, okay? That's why, so this is the reason why it says processes that cannot be interrupted. So it is non-preemptive, okay? SRJF, round robin. So next one is going to be deadlock. So, okay, what are the ways you can handle deadlock? You can avoid deadlock. The first one, the first one you can do is you can break one of the conditions of the Kaufman condition. One of the conditions of the Kaufman. We have 4 conditions, if you remember. The second way, it is called Banker's algorithm. So what Banker's algorithm is going to do, it's going to check first. Before sending something to the wait mode, it is going to check. it is gonna check. Let's say you wanna draw a painting, right? So your bank, the operating system basically gonna work like a bank, okay? So it will try to protect itself, okay? Before, to avoid getting stuck, okay? Let's say we have 3 processes. So this is your bank, it's your operating system, and this is 3 people, basically your 3 processes, okay? And they wanna take money from the bank, okay? What it means is that these 3 processes wanna be inside the CPU, okay? So before your operating system will send the process inside the CPU, it basically needs to check. Does this person have a good credit score? Does this person have enough stable income so that it will give my money back, is the interest, right? So the same logic applies for the Becker algorithm. What's gonna do is that before your operating system is gonna put P1, the process inside the CPU is gonna check, do you have enough resources? Are you not gonna wait for anything? So in the case like drawing paint, it's probably, if the job of the process number 1 is to draw something, right? That draw a painting, let's say, it's gonna ask, do you have pen? Do you have paper? Okay. If one of these doesn't have, basically P1 will never get inside the CPU. Okay. This is Banker's algorithm. So we are going to learn it on Monday, okay? Maybe next week. And then you will try to avoid non-preemptive environment. So you will try to make it preemptive. Preemptive means it can be interrupted, like this one. So you have a narrow street, and then 2 cars are coming, right? 2 cars are coming. Car number 1 and car number 2. So they will be in the middle of the road, they will stop, right? And then they cannot go back. Why? Because this is non-preemptive. So what you can do is that you can try to make sure to put some kind of signs, let's say, and you're gonna call it one-way sign. And for this one, you will put another sign. Let's say you're gonna say don't enter sign, right? And in that case, your car 1 is gonna see it's one way and it's gonna go, and your car 2 will not go inside the CPU. So kind of logic for the non-preemptive. You have non-preemptive environment, but you will try to make it, you will give the conditions to make it preemptive, okay? You cannot simply convert it to the preemptive, but you will give some conditions. So you will give some kind of the signs, okay, conditions. That's it. So this is deadlock, okay? Basically when you have 2 or more processes that's stuck inside the wait forever, okay?